with just a few items, some flat lace, coffee-dyed glassine bag, couple of coffee-dyed papers, and some images, we can create this, a bag flip book. Won't you join me? Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you joined me today. So I have my coffee-dyed bag here. My bag is approximately 7 3/4 inches by 5 inches. I have a stamp here. It's kind of like a script stamp, but then it has other things going on. I've had it for a very long time. It is R221 vintage letter. Let's bring in our StazOn Timber Brown and let's load our stamp up. So this is how our bag looks after we've stamped it. I cut it so it was close to the size of the bag, and I'm just going to lay it on top of the bag like this. I also have a little image. Now my image is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and mine happens to be a cute little bunny. And this image is from Charm Studio Designs. I'm going to actually use my hot glue gun. My glue gun is a Surebonder high temp. I'm using it because I'm gluing it on top of lace. Okay, so that's glued down. I'm just going to check the corners to make sure the corners are glued down. I've got my silicone stick here, and I'm going to apply a little glue at the corner. Now you don't have to use hot glue. You can use fabric tack or tacky glue, whatever glue that you like. I would not suggest a glue stick though. I'm just pulling up the lace at the corners. I think it does a really nice job of softening the look. I have some sari silk here from Crimson Heart Studios, and I've ripped it so it's fairly thin. And I want to tie a bow with this. Maybe something like that. And I want to pop it right down here at the bottom. And I actually think I want to invert it so the streamers are going up instead of down, and glue it right here at the corner. The reason why I want my streamers to be going up is because I want to use these streamers to get a little bit of movement on either side of my picture. So I'm just twisting my sari silk just a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I have some sewing trim here, and I want to add a little bit right here in the center of my bow. In my dish here, I have some flat back pearls, and I'm going to add a few here and there on my sari silk and lace. Now let's work on our flip book. I have 2 coffee-dyed pages, and are they the same size? They're very close. One has a grid and the other is a copy paper, and they are approximately 11 inches by 8.5. And I want to fold them in half the long way like this. Well, maybe that's not the long way. I would think this would be the long way. We're folding them in half. We're folding them in half this way. And with my trimmer, I'm going to cut them in half. Now we have 4 pages. This one, the copy weight paper, is a little heavier than the grid. So I'm going to alternate like this so that my heavier paper is on top. Now this digital also had larger images. I printed one on a cardstock and the other on a lighter weight copy paper. I want to use the heavier weight cardstock image to back my flip book. I want the papers to be the size of this image right here because this image will fit inside of my glassine bag perfectly. So a little marking, and I'm just going to use my paper clips to hold my papers in place, and I'm going to trim around the edge. This image that's printed on cardstock is going to go on the back, and then my image that's printed on lightweight paper is going to go on the front. Now I'm going to paper clip this back together. And I'm going to turn it over because right here, this is the top. This is the top. I'm going to just mark where I'd like to place my staples. And I'm going to be placing 4 staples across the top. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz staple gun, which has small staples. And now my pages are stapled in nicely. But I can see that my pages have shifted a little bit, and I want to clean that up. I have a scrap piece of paper, and it's cardstock. It has been coffee dyed on one side. The other side you can see is just scrap paper. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink my little piece up. Now, when I ordered my inks a while back, I tried out the tea dyed. I really like that, but it was getting a little dry. So I opened up the gathered twigs and I started with this color. It's a little darker color. It's not as pink as the tea dye, and that's what I would say. The tea dye is a little pinker. This is definitely a pretty brown. So I like this one as well. I like inking to be on the dark side. So I have it all inked up, and I want to place it right here on the top to cover my staples and to finish off the top of my flip book. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm going to apply my glue right where the staples are and a little bit above. And then I'm going to lay my little piece right in that glue, but I want to make sure that it not only covers my staples, but I can fold it over and it covers the staples in the back. So that's perfect. Someone's going to ask me what size this is. It's 1 1/4 inches, but that also depends on how far down you placed your staples from the top of your paper. A little bit more glue, and let's get this side glued down. Now I want to trim the ends, and I want to add a little bit of ink on the edges of my paper here. Now to finish this off, I have punched out a tab out of some coffee dyed cardstock, and with a little bit of glue. What a fun spring project, don't you think? It's just around the corner, guys. I know in some parts of the country it doesn't look like spring at all, but I promise you it is coming, and so is Easter. Let's get ahead of the game and make some things for spring and Easter. for our junk journals, for some special gifts, or even for an Easter basket. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.